What do you remember fondly about growing up watching Dragon Ball? Whether that's Dragon Ball, whether it's Z, GT, Super, whatever.
So I have a lot of fond memories with Dragon Ball. Specifically, my main like core memory with Dragon Ball is the DVD version of the first Broly movie.
Nice.
Because the soundtrack of that was like, it was always like Breaking Benjamin or like some old, like not old, but like kind of dad rock that's like teetering on being into like the metal category. And that was like my shit back then. So that movie fucking was amazing. And I remember I wore the shit out of that disc. Like I would put that in everything and just keep playing it. But I remember not being allowed to stay up and watch it because Toonami was too late. So that was always one thing. But then sneaking up and staying up late to watch it. I remember seeing Trunks for the first time and being like, that's my dude. So that was slick. What else? What was like a big moment in the Dragon Ball? What was your favorite saga?
Oh, that's hard. I'm gonna say the Cell saga. Okay. Because there was a lot of breakthroughs, and there's breakthroughs in every saga, but the breakthroughs in the Cell saga was some shit.
Oh yeah, that was where we got Gohan, which also I started Japanese on Duolingo. Gohan is rice.
I did do that.
This fucking asshole Goku just named his child after food.
Well, he's named after carrot, so.
Is Goku something? Because I know Kakarot is carrot, right?
Yeah. I don't know. You might have to get to that lesson on Duolingo.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to get there. We'll come back next month when I'm more Japanese.
King Vegetables, Vegeta.
Yeah.
Prince Vegetable, I should say, and then Piccolo, Kakarot, Carrot. Gohan is rice. He's just rice.
He's just rice. Goten is just exist. I don't like Goten.
You don't like as a character?
In general, I think that he's annoying. Like even like he's just a bratty kid, and then when we see the older versions of him, he's just Gohan from the Buu saga. Like he's not his own character. I feel like I don't think he's done anything.
Nah, I feel like because Goten's he's more playful than Gohan is, and he's braver than Gohan. Well,
when they're older,
he's braver than young Gohan is.
I guess, yeah.
Because even Goten as a little kid was like, "Fuck it, let's go." Him and little.
Well,
Trunks
that's because he didn't understand what death meant. To be honest, I don't know if Goten was like brave or if he was just uneducated of the world.
I think he was. But he had to be somewhat because him and Trunks just go Super Saiyan.
True.
And then they go to fight Boo at one point when they become Gotenks.
True, but they're so cocky because they don't
They're
don't
very
understand.
cocky kids.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I
think that's also just the difference in like sibling personalities. Like I'm learning that with my two kids.
That's true. Yeah.
Because I think Gohan was a little bit more like timid and he had to like grow into himself. And Goten is just like, fuck that. I don't care who is it. Let's go.
Do you remember when Goten grew up and then he got his hair cut and he looked like Yamcha?
Yes, I do.
And we're like, wait a second.
Questions.
That's not your father's hair. That's wait a minute.
I do like how they revamped them in Super. I do like their like teen design, like when on the superhero movie. I like their design in that movie. So wait, just circling back. When did you what year was this? You were like where you started remembering all these things, or your first memories of the show?
So thing about me, I'm not good at pinpointing years with my life for things. I'm great at movies. Like I'm great at being like, oh, that movie came out around this year. But like when it comes to like life memories and core memories that are in my head, I cannot put a year on them for some reason.
Do you remember when you were first watching it? What saga were they on?
I believe the first time I saw it was when Trunks showed up.
Okay.
Like legit, I didn't know who Frieza was.
I'm asking because this is good. This is going to be a history lesson for anybody who doesn't know. I mean, the people who watch this show know, but it'll just show the difference in eras.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, when Trunks showed up and he did his little fucking slash, and then he went
that
over his shoulders like, and then fucking Frieza.
That's a moment that's just like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, that was the moment. Like, it was the moment in wrestling for me when I turned on the TV station and I saw Rey Mysterio do a 619. I'm like, yeah, I'm sold.
That's it. That's all I needed to see.
That was all I needed to see, and I was sold for the rest of it.
Nice. That's a great moment.
What about you? What was your, like, this is my first time seeing this. What is this? Why is this man screaming?
Okay, I remember waking up before school and seeing Dragon Ball and watching episodes of that and being like, you know, like when you're that young, I had to be like, I don't know, 6, and and I see it on the TV, but I'm not like, it's just a cartoon to me. I'm just like watching it. I don't know who these people are. I don't know what's happening because obviously I probably saw it in like the middle of a season or something. But I remember watching Dragon Ball, just enjoying it as a cartoon. And then I remember waking up one morning and all of a sudden it was Dragon Ball Z and the theme song was coming from Dragon. Like all of that. Yeah. And I just remember being like, but this is before Toonami wasn't a thing.
Oh, really?
It used to come on like regular TV. I don't know, like Fox or something.
Probably in the morning. Fox, like with like the edgy logo Fox, like Fox. But Fox Kids.
It was like early in the morning, like before school. So it had to be like 7 a.m. or something. Like before I was going to like the school bus. And
the Nick at Night type hour.
it had to be like UPN or some shit. I don't remember one of those channels. But I remember seeing Dragon Ball Z and being like, wait a minute, this isn't what's happening?
That child is now a man.
Right. And then they had the Rock the Dragon intro, and then you see the ball come around, and then like you see the hair go up and he's like gold hair and everything. But it was the Saiyan saga, so it was just Goku versus Vegeta and Nappa. And then it would go into the Frieza saga, and it always ended right before Goku. Well, he showed back up after being in the time chamber and everything, and he would get there, and it would be his time, and he faces off against Frieza, and then would restart. That's before America got all the rest of the episodes. Ooh. So for years, and everybody from my era knows what I'm talking about. For years, we just watched it up to that point, and it would restart, and we're like, and you're confused, right? Because you're reading like gamer magazines or comics, you always see pictures of these Dragon Ball Z characters, but they have gold hair. And it's just like,
what the fuck is going on?
And then the intro, at the end of it, you see Goku's hair go gold, and you're just like, when did that happen? Like, what? This is a lie, right? Yeah. So you're just like, I don't know what anybody's talking about.
They're lying to me right now. This is false advertisement.
So then like games would still come out. So like, I remember PlayStation had Dragon Ball GT. It was just a fighting game on PS1. And I remember playing that and being like, who are all these people? Because you're only used to Goku, Vegeta, Gohan. Those were the Saiyans leading up to the Frieza saga. You don't know anyone else. And you don't know, you're so not in the know that you don't know there's other forms of Super Saiyan. So in Dragon Ball GT, there was Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan Vegeta, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Trunks, like all these characters that we have not been introduced to yet. So I'm just like, and you know, they have the typical Dragon Ball Z face. So I'm just like, there's mad Gokus. Like, look at all these Gokus with different forms.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite things, is that a lot of the characters are just the same person with a different hair.
Did you see I think it was a meme on Instagram where they just have the face and they just changed the hair
and they kept like switching
but it's different every time. So you're seeing all these characters and I'm just like, yep. So I'm playing that game. Game was trash, by the way. But at the time, that was the only Dragon Ball Z game we had in America. This is before the Budokais and all that shit.
Ultimate Collection 22.
I think it was garbage too.
I had that and stole it from my neighbors. Go to a previous episode to hear that story.
Yes, we did tell that story. But even that game, because then as I'm getting older, you know, you learn how to import stuff, and I'm modding my PS1 and I'm playing those games, the Japanese versions of those games, because there was no English version yet.
But they were good though, the Japanese ones, right? I think.
The Legend, this one called Legend of the Super Saiyan, which was like an action RPG. That was fun.
All right.
That one's fire.
Honestly, I feel like you would have loved the Game Boy versions of them. Like the Goku ones, like Legend of Goku.
No, I played the first two.
You gotta play Boost Fury.
I didn't play Boost Fury.
Oh my god.
We talked about this.
Boost Fury, that's the core memory for me. Fuck. Boost Fury, man. I have put hours into that game. That is such a good RPG on Game Boy.
The first one was like one of those games where it was just like, I'm so happy to have this. I like in the back of my mind, it's like, this game sucks.
Yeah.
But it's just like, no, but it's
great.
This is all I have. Like,
dude, I forget what the game was even called, but I remember my cousin had it, and it was for the DS or Game Boy Advance, one of the two. And it was like a fighting game for Dragon Ball, but they were 3D. And like they were fully standing up next to each other and like full 3D CG models. And I always wanted to try it, and this little motherfucker would never give me the goddamn cartridge. He'd be like, no, it's mine. I'm like, I just want to fucking know what it is.
I just want to experience it.
Yeah, I just want to experience it, because then if I like it, then I can go get my own. That's how that works. Yours. Like, I don't give a fuck about your copy, little dickhead. I already stole my collection of Ultimate 22. I don't
need
my
contraband at home.
I got my shit. I don't need your bullshit. Just let me try it. To this day, I think about that whenever I see him, and it pisses me off.
You just got to get redemption at some point. Like, yo, remember that time?
Oh, no, it's fine. He just keeps killing me in Helldivers. It's fine. Dickhead. Anyway.
Something tells me it's not. But
I'll see you at the wedding, bitch.
Get ready. So I'm seeing all of like this Dragon Ball adjacent stuff, and I'm just like, I've watched this show so much. I've never seen any of these things.
Where's the secret ending?
And this is before like, and then I'm getting older at this point. So maybe I'm like 10 now, 11. And I'm just like, okay, I'm learning, as you grow up as a gamer, like I'm learning that, okay, these things come from Japan. So there's things in Japan that we don't have yet. And this is why I'm connecting the dots as to why I haven't seen these things. And I'm going to like, remember Suncoast in the mall?
Is it like Radio Shack?
It's like, FYE?
I know FYE.
It was FYE before it was called FYE.
I worked at FYE.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Still learning about each other.
I worked at FYE when it wasn't games anymore, though. Brett actually worked at FYE when they still had games. And he would get like games on discount, if I remember correctly.
I remember FYE when they introduced having games in the store because there wasn't games there.
And it was a time because it was always behind lock and key, or it was wide out in the open and it was garbage that was left over. That was the only two options you had at FYE.
Yeah.
And then a katana or like the kendo sticks that they would have in a fucking garbage bin randomly.
I do remember those.
Yeah, remember that? And then kids would buy them and beat the shit out of each other in the malls with them. Okay, this is just my mall. Judging by your facial reaction, this was just my mall.
No,
the kids were beating the shit out of each other.
I'm laughing because none of that surprises me. Of course they did. But, okay.
I witnessed a sword fight or two. That's all I'm trying to say.
You had a front row seat.
There was honor going down in the Oxford Valley Mall.
So everybody was Trunks. So.
Miss me with that shit.
Before it was FYE, there was Suncoast. Do you remember Sam Goody? Okay. That was also like FYE. You're on the show now. I want to let you know that.
You're definitely on the show now.
He doesn't remember Sam Goody or Suncoast.
Okay, I went to Suncoast. We didn't have it down south. Sam Goody and FYE.
I just said FYE. I think the other ones went out of style before I was alive, sadly.
Probably. No. It was still here. You just weren't. You probably weren't aware.
Before I was conscious.
Yeah.
Before I was an actual human being and not just a little puddle of human.
Before you were alive, I was 9. So I was just becoming aware. Anyway.
You were still figuring out about Dragon Ball Z by the time that I was a sparkle in my dad's eye.
I was still figuring out things come from Japan. So anyway, I will go into Sam Goody, Suncoast, FYE //. Remember The Wall?
No.
No? You don't remember The Wall?
Do you remember Kahunaville? That's what I thought. That's what you get.
Do you remember The Wall?
No, I didn't have that either.
That was a CD store in the mall.
No.
It was at
what mall, for context?
I don't know. I was
if
going,
you had to give,
I was going to Willow Grove Mall. I was going to Montgomery Mall.
Then no. I only.
But they were like chains. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Probably mall sucked back in the day. They had a Kahunaville, which was. Do you remember what's it called? The Safari restaurant that's still at Disney.
The Rainforest Cafe?
Yeah, imagine Rainforest Cafe, but if they didn't have a budget.
So it just was balls to the wall.
It was just awful. It was just like, hey, you want to go see an animatronic animal? How about an animatronic animal that looks like it's going to haunt you for the rest of your life?
Bet.
And not even like in a Chuck E. Cheese way, in like it's kind of close to realistic, but it's just enough off in that uncanny valley where you're like, there's a demon inside of this.
I could definitely understand what you're talking about.
Sorry, I didn't know the wall because I was too busy being haunted by the monkey from Kahunaville.
It doesn't matter because if you've been to FYE, you've been to all of them because all of them turned into like FYE bought all those and they game stopped.
And now they're just Hot Topic with the lights on.
Yeah, they pretty much like how GameStop did to all video game stores. FYE did that to all of those stores. So anyway.
You going into the wall.
I'm going into the wall or Sam Goody or Suncoast or FYE.
I'm waiting for a fifth story for you. Like, do you know this one?
No, I think that's really it.
Okay.
I can't think of any more. Remember Tower Records?
I know the name. I don't know the store, though.
That was another one.
Yeah.
There's your fifth one.
Yeah.
So I go in there and they always had like the box set. But it always led up to the same exact point of the TV. It was just like, but now in retrospect, I'm like, why would you sell us that? It's incomplete. But it was the Americanized.
It was the complete at the time, though.
It was complete American translated version. So then, you get to like middle school and then friends are coming in with like subbed VHS tapes.
Ooh.
And you're seeing glimpses of shit you have not seen yet. It's just like, what? Like, it was so mind blowing sometimes to the point where it's like, I don't want to say because I'm so caught. I've seen up to a certain point so much that now I'm so invested. I don't want to be taken out of like order. Like I don't now it's like spoiler territory.
Did you see any spoilers that were like holy shit to you back in the day? That was like a moment where you're like, oh god, that's coming.
I watched what was it? The fight. Is that the alarm?
That is the alarm.
It's fine. I got a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
The fight between Majin Vegeta, Super Majin Vegeta, Majin Vegeta.
Sorry, you threw me off for there, and I was like, "What is this that he's talking about that I don't know? Is it from Japan?"
No, Super Majin Vegeta versus Goku. That fight.
Yeah, that's a good fight,
and that's that's up there. And that's like top 3 fights period for me in
the end
of series.
That fight is my favorite. That sacrifice is
So I saw glimpses of that, and I'm just like when did that happen? I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah.
So anyway, story goes on. Finally, Toonami is introduced. Like, hey, we're coming out with a new segment on Cartoon Network, Toonami, and we're going to play Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon, like all the 90s era animes. So whatever, they're playing them, and I'm just like, all right, cool. Like I've always loved this, and I'll just watch it here now. So I'm just watching the same ones I've been watching, and again, it restarts. And finally, one day they advertise, and this is like pre-internet, or it was a very, very early internet, so I wasn't going on there finding out like what's happening.
You weren't on Reddit.
Yeah, exactly. There was no Reddit. I had to everything was still found out in the moment. One day watching Cartoon Network, commercial comes on. It was just like a Dragon Ball Z that you've never seen in America coming, blah, blah, blah. They show all these flashes of episodes. So I'm seeing Super Saiyan Goku. You're seeing Trunks. They're just showing clips. And I'm just like,
this is my moment.
And like I said, I started watching at like 6, 7. So at this point, I'm like 13, 14. So I'm like, it's been half a decade.
It's been half a decade, and I now get to see the gold hair.
Fine, and then
here's 8 episodes of Goku screaming while he gets the gold hair. Get fucked.
So yeah, exactly. He's on Namek. It wasn't Namek about to be destroyed in an hour. That hour was Namek like 15 episodes
in 1 hour, and then 30 minutes
he had
later,
to
like
fight
what
and
happened?
Defeat Frieza and escape Namek in 1 hour, and that 1 hour took like 3 weeks.
Yeah. Longer than that, probably, honestly.
But anyway, so they finally show it. They finally show the next episode because they lead up to that same point again. And then the next day I'm coming home from school and I'm running to the TV. And a part of me is so jaded that I'm like, it's just going to go back to the Saiyan saga and we're going to be back at the beginning. But finally, it moved the story forward. I'm just like, oh shit. shit.
This is new.
So then I'm glued. I remember being on the floor on my mom's living room. There's a whole living room set, couch. I'm just on the floor, just looking at this thing. And needless to say, you go to school the next day, like, oh my God, did you watch? It was like the talk of everything. So every day was the same thing. I'm running home from the bus to get to Toonami at 5:00 to watch
dope.
Dragon Ball as it happens for the first time in America. And man, I'll never forget it. And then ever since then, I mean, obviously before that, but even more so at that point, then they introduced Trunks, then the Cell Saga, then the Majin Buu Saga. And they were introducing it in chunks. So like I think once the Frieza Saga ended, there was a break. Yeah. Then they were like, all right, here comes the Cell Saga. Then there was a break. Then they just kept hitting you over the head. Honestly,
I kind of love the Android Saga, and I feel like it's forgotten about a lot.
It's not talked about like it should be.
Like, I feel like it's one of those, it's weird because it's almost like it's a part of Cell Saga. Because it is, like, actually. But, like, at the same time, it's not. Like, it's its own thing. It's like a rectangle. Like in a square. Because, like, a square is a rectangle, but it's not. A rectangle can always be a square. You know that situation? It's that.
But isn't a rectangle a square?
No, because it doesn't have
equal size.
Okay, it's one of those, Johns, where it's like, it's that, but it's not, but it also is kind of, you know.
It feeds into it.
But also, like, there's a lot of really good storytelling that happens there. Like, all the stuff in the future with Trunks when he's still, like, a young kid with future Gohan, when he's got this one, dude, that shit so good.
Okay, so, dude. But that's when I became, Hani, you said, like, there was a moment. Obviously, I'm a fan before these new episodes come out. I'm a fan. I love this, and this is cool. But when that comes out, when they shows Goku go Super Saiyan for the first time, was just like a mind-blowing moment. But then Trunks I was always so infatuated with because one of my friends at school who was Japanese, he's like, my favorite character is Trunks, but I don't know anything about Trunks, but he knew he's Japanese. He got the inside track on that shit.
Nice. He was probably reading the manga itself.
Probably. Nice. So anyway, I saw that for the first time. I saw him cut up Frieza, like you said, do the blast and everything. And then when he goes to like prove that Goku is Goku and Goku just blocking it with his finger and all that shit.
Also, that outfit that Goku had.
The look space looking.
That was the coolest shit, and they never made a toy of it. I was so pissed off. I was like, I want that outfit, Goku. And, you know, if I ever do a cosplay of Dragon Ball, I'm doing that fucking outfit. I tell you. I won't be able to do the hair, but, you know, maybe I will. Just
hold on. But we're going to wrap this. Yes. That is my biggest Dragon Ball moments, because from then on, we got the Budokai games, the Tenkaichi games.
Raging Blast 1 and 2. 2 is better.
Raging Blast. The Legacy of Goku games, Dragon Ball Fighters. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Even currently, they're about to put out a new Dragon Ball game. I don't know, man. And Dragon Ball Super eventually. And so we say all that to say, rest in peace, Akira Toriyama.
Yeah.
You're a GOAT in just media in general. I don't even want to pigeonhole you to Dragon Ball and anime, because your influence has penetrated every form.
It's crazy too, because he didn't even really have any hands in the anime and like the live action, not even live action. Well, fuck, we're not talking about live action. Moving past that.
Yeah, no one.
His hand was mainly just for the manga itself and then just allowing it to become animation.
He said at first he was against it.
Yeah.
It was just supposed to be manga.
Because I'm glad he came around, because it's the best shit. My final question before we move on. Toys, obviously big deal to me. Dragon Ball Z toys. Did you have any when you were a kid? And which one was your favorite? And which one was your least favorite? Because I have a very specific one for the least favorite.
I had, obviously, my favorite character. I had my Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Oh, no. Because I think in the original line, they didn't have him as 2. But they had Super Saiyan Gohan in the Piccolo outfit.
And you could, like, take off the thingy.
Yeah.
It was, like, clippy.
Yeah, exactly. I had that. I had Super Saiyan Trunks.
Nice.
Before he was introduced in America. I just remember finding it until I had Super Saiyan Trunks in the Saiyan armor.
I had that one with the white eyes when he was buff as fuck.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
I had Super Saiyan Vegeta. And did I have a Goku? Yeah, I had just regular base in his orange and blue Super Saiyan Goku.
So,
those are the only ones I had.
My favorite was that Trunks when he was the full power version of himself because it was super posable in the arms.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I saw the arms could go past 90 degrees, I was like,
It's just like, yes.
I was like, what is this strange power? He still did have the thighs that were shitty because it would just go up and down. But like even that, like you could like raise one leg up and he could be doing a little flying pose and it was perfect. My least favorite Dragon Ball Z toy. I don't know if you've ever seen these, but they were these little figures about this big with 5 points of articulation in their base form of whatever character it was. It was Goku, Cell, Trunks, and Vegeta. And it came with an accessory that was nightmare fuel. It was a rubbery skin that you would put the figure inside of that would then make them Perfect Cell, Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan Trunks,
not aware of this.
and Super Saiyan Vegeta. They were awful. They were the worst figures I've ever owned in my life.
Oh shit!
And I will be putting pictures on the screen.
Yeah,
and I'll send them
these
to you eventually later today so that you could see them yourself. But they were awful, dude. They were the worst shit. And then the fucking rubber things would always get ripped when you would throw them in your toy bin. So you'd go to put like, oh, here's Goku ready to go Super Saiyan, and his whole entire face would be ripped in half, and you would see like this little tiny regular base form Goku like peeking through the slit in the face of Super Saiyan Goku that's rubber and already deformed and gross.
I would look at that as a kid and be like,
it was the worst, man. It was, and then the worst part was that the figures didn't go in easily. So no matter what you were doing, you were going to rip the rubber piece.
They had to know that was going to happen.
It was so bad. I hated them. They sucked.
You know what? I also just got to shout them out, man. Like Chrono Trigger. Thank you.
Oh,
Dragon Ball Z, thank you.
What's it called?
Chrono Trigger, thank you.
Sandland.
We'll get to that and what we've been playing.
Will we?
We will. This, for just spoiler's sake, this might be the most I've ever contributed to what we've been playing this week.
Then let's get to it.
Yes.
Hey, thank you for watching this video. There's more where that came from.
Yes, there is. And if you want to see a video just like the one you just watched, you can click up here for that. Or if you want a video that YouTube recommended just for your nerdy gamer person self, you can click right here on that video right there. And you can like, follow, subscribe, leave a comment on anything that you like.
All that good stuff.
All of it. And you can always remember to save before quitting.